Hello everyone. Today in this module we are going to talk about Project Tiger as part of conservation ecology. Tiger is the national animal of India and it symbolizes its rich heritage and richness of this country. Though it is very unfortunate that the tiger population is dwindling at an alarming rate and now only 13 countries are left where tigers are being reported. In this module, we will make the students aware of the various conservation efforts taken to protect this tiger. The learning objectives of this module are Introduction to Project Tiger, Tiger range countries, the species of tigers, the role of tiger in ecosystem, the plight of tigers at present, National Tiger Conservation Authority, a table about tiger reserves, studies on management strategies, and wildlife crime risk management studies. Tiger range countries, that is the TRCs like Bangladesh, Bhutan, Cambodia, China, India, Indonesia, Laos, Malaysia, Myanmar, Nepal, Russia, Thailand and Vietnam. The tiger population is dwindling at an alarming rate and now reported in only 13 countries. The major environmental challenges which lead to the alarming decrease in tiger population include degradation from the effects of human population growth, brisk economic expansion, rapid urbanization, massive infrastructure development and climate change. The overarching challenge of tiger conservation and the conservation of biodiversity generally is that there is insufficient demand for survival of wild tigers living in natural landscapes. This allows the criminal activities of poaching wild tigers and their prey and trafficking in tiger derivatives to flourish and tiger landscapes to be diminished. The geographical distribution of tigers spans large parts of Asia, although it has greatly reduced in the last 50 years. Tigers are still found in a wide variety of forests including dry deciduous, moist deciduous, evergreen, riverine and mangrove. Tigers, unlike lions, do not live in families. They are largely individualistic and usually move around on their own. Although not much is known of their dispersal capabilities, it has been found that the males disperse 3 times faster than females. While the males disperse over 33 kilometers, females have an average dispersal of less than 10 km. Indeed, male tigers control stretches ranging from 200 km in thick forest to nearly 5 times in dry and arid regions. About 8 subspecies of tigers have been recognized, out of which 3 are extinct. Panthera tigris tigris, Panthera tigris virgata, Panthera tigris altaica, Panthera tigris sondica, Panthera tigris amoyensis, Panthera tigris bellica, Panthera tigris sumatrae and Panthera tigris corbeti. Based on molecular markers, 6 subspecies are now recognized. Among them, the first one is Amur tiger, second is Northern Indo-Chinese tiger, third is South China tiger, fourth is Malayan tiger, fifth is Sumatran tiger and sixth is the Bengal tiger. Distribution in India. The Indian subspecies is Panthera tigris tigris. Wild tigers are found in 18 of our states like MP, Maharashtra, Mizoram, Odisha, Rajasthan, Tamil Nadu, Telangana, Uttarakhand, UP and West Bengal. Project Tiger is being implemented in these states in collaboration with the respective state governments. About 18 states have tiger population. 44 tiger reserves in India are present, which spread over 70,244.10 square kilometer, and the population is 2,226 as per the 2014 census. The role of tiger in the ecosystem. Tiger, being at the apex of the food chain, can be considered as the indicator of the stability of the ecosystem. For a viable tiger population, a habitat should possess a good prey base, which in turn will depend on undisturbed forest vegetation. Thus, Project Tiger is basically the conservation of the entire ecosystem, and apart from tigers, all other wild animals also have increased in number in the project areas. The tiger is a very important member of the ecosystem that it inhabits. It shares a symbiotic relation with the jungle that harbor it. The tiger needs a minimum density of herbivorous ungulates to sustain it. The herbivores in turn need vegetation to sustain their population. There is a limited area of forest and hence foliage available. This means that there is a limited food for the herbivores to feed on. This in turn implies that a given forest area can sustain only a certain maximum number of tigers. Thus, conserving the tigers is not just about the number of tigers, it is much broader concept that required the conservation of the entire ecosystem. Irrespective of the role of tiger in ecosystem, it was hunted for various reasons, initially as game animal during the era of kingship and then by poachers who smuggled the body parts out of the country. A tiger may fetch as much as rupees 60 crores for a wildlife trader in India. Part of tiger's body is marketable, like $6,000 per kg for tiger's bones, $20,000 for the tiger skin, $1,000 per tiger skull, $900 per tooth and $100 per kg of tiger fat. The plight of tigers. Currently, the plight of tigers is going down. It is going down because of lack of scientific data, failure to control trade in tiger parts and failure to control the human impacts. The launch of Project Tiger. There were an estimated 40,000 tigers in India at the beginning of the 20th century. This number had continually declined with the hunting of tigers in the absence of an illegal restraint. The gravity of the situation was realized when the first All India Tiger Census in 1972 revealed only a lack of tigers in India. It was then when the Government of India realized the gravity of the situation. The government reacted to the situation by imposing a ban in 1970 on the killing of tigers. There existed only the Indian Forest Act of 1927. It brought forest and wildlife under the concurrent list in 1976. The government further enacted the Wildlife Protection Act of 1972. A task force was also formed to solve the problem of the declining tiger population. The project had been drawn to cover a 6-year period from April 1, 1973 to March 31, 1979, thus covering the last year of the 4th plan and the entire 5th year plan. The total projected fund required was rupees 58 million. The central government was responsible for planning, coordination and part financing, while the state government was responsible for only execution and financing a part of the recurring cost of the project. The various reasons that were responsible for the fall in tiger population in India were: first, the shrinkage of tiger land, excessive disturbance in tiger habitat, destruction of prey animals, poaching of tigers and poisoning for protection of cattle. The task force of 1972 laid out guidelines for the formulation of management plans for various tiger reserves. Project Tiger was launched in 1973 with 9 tiger reserves, that is Bandipur, Corbett, Kanha, Manas, Melghat, Palamur, Ranthambore, Similipal and Sundarbans. The basic philosophy was to not interfere with nature. The survival of tiger was looked at from the logic of it being at the apex of food chain, and hence it followed that the natural habitat was to be sustained. A core buffer model was followed. The core areas were freed from all sorts of human activities and the buffer areas were subjected to conservation oriented land use. Each tiger reserve had management plans in accordance with the following principles. First, elimination of all forms of human exploitation and biotic disturbance from the core area and rationalization of activities in the buffer zone. Second, restricting the habitat management only to repair the damages done to the ecosystem by human and other interferences, so that to facilitate recovery of the ecosystem to its natural state. And third, monitoring the floral and faunal changes over time and carrying out research about wildlife sustained. Initially, the project started with a tiger reserve covering an area of 16,339 square kilometer with a population of 268 tigers. At present, there are 44 tiger reserves covering an area of 70,244.10 square kilometer with a population of over 2,000 tigers. The next slide shows us the tiger reserves and the states where these 44 tiger reserves are present in India. Karnataka has the highest number of tigers in the age group of 1.5 years with more than 408 big cats. Other states with significant population include Uttarakhand having 340, MP having 308, Tamil Nadu 228, Maharashtra 190, Assam 167, Kerala 136 and UP about 117 tigers. In this slide, we are going to learn about the management strategies or the steps to strengthen success of Project Tiger. The National Tiger Conservation Authority, that is NTCA, is a statutory body of the ministry with an overarching supervisory or coordination role performing functions as provided in the Wildlife Protection Act 1972. The day-to-day administration, management, field interventions and protections are done by the state officials in field formations, as the land belongs to the state. The role of Project Tiger or NTCA is to provide technical guidance and funding support. The All India Tiger Estimation is carried out once in every 4 years. Based on the Tiger Task Force approval, a refined double sampling method using camera straps is a statistical framework was first used in 2006 at country level tiger assessment. The second round of such an assessment was completed in 2010. Beside the once in 4 years snapshot country level assessment, the tigers are monitored in tiger reserves through a special field protocol. Phase 4 monitoring, which involves recording day-to-day field evidences in prescribed format, correlating camera trap pictures of tigers, collection of scat samples in difficult areas besides using smart patrolling protocols in some reserves. Every tiger reserve has a catalogue of camera trap photo capture of individual tiger. Due to concerted efforts under Project Tiger since 1973, India alone has the maximum number of tigers and its source areas amongst the 13 tiger range countries. Project Tiger has been more than successful in its endeavour and has put the endangered tiger, our national animal, on an assured path of recovery. In the contemporary global scenario, this effort hardly has any parallel. Recognizing the need to protect tiger, government initiated several measures aimed at conservation and protection of the species. Besides, efforts were made to prevent illegal wildlife trade to ensure a viable population of tiger in India. The main activities of Project Tiger include wildlife management, protection measures and specific eco-development activity. 28 tiger reserves were created in 17 states between 1973 to 74 and 1999 to 2000. The Project Tiger Directorate, the PTTD, in the Ministry of Environment and Forest at New Delhi is responsible for providing technical guidance, budgetary support, coordination, monitoring and evolution of Project Tiger, while the management and implementation of the project rest with the state government concerned. The India Eco Development Project was a pilot project initiated with the assistance to the World Bank and the Global Environmental Facility to conserve biodiversity through eco-development. The project addressed both the impact of the local population on the protected areas and the impact of the protected areas on the local population and envisaged to improve the capacity of protected area management to effectively conserve biodiversity and support collaboration between the state and local communities in and around ecologically vulnerable areas. Tiger now need a preservationist approach. Regional planning is important around tiger reserve to foster ecological connectivity between protected areas through restorative inputs with integrated land use planning. The management plan of a tiger reserve therefore needs to be integrated in larger regional management plans. Apart from this, certain suggestions are maybe the core outcome of this assessment of the protected area in conservation of biodiversity. Finalization of legal status of core and buffer area as national park and wildlife sanctuary respectively. Establishment of the strike force to strengthen protection, rehabilitation of new villages from buffer on priority, eco-development in villages in the multiple use area, joint forest management, staff orientation and training to improve the management capabilities and to provide them adequate essentialities to get their commitment. Building up of research and monitoring database to support conservation activities is also important. Wildlife protection and crime risk management. In the present scenario, this requires a widely distributed information network using state-of-the-art information and communication technology. This becomes all the more important to ensure the desired level of protection in field formations to safeguard an impressive gains of a focused project like Project Tiger. The important elements in wildlife protection and control are mapping and plotting the risk factors, sensitivity, categorization, crime mapping and immediate action for apprehending the offenders based on effective networking and communication. Space technology has shown the interconnectivity of natural and anthropogenic phenomena occurring anywhere on Earth. Several tiger reserves are being linked with the Project Tiger Directorate in the GIS domain for wildlife crime risk management. Tiger habitats exist in an environment of thousands of indigenous communities that depend on them. Therefore, we cannot view these protected areas in isolation from the surrounding socio-economic realities and developmental priorities of the government. This calls for a cross-sector and cross-disciplinary approach. Several research findings exist on the tiger, and the ongoing research broadly include spatial use of pattern studies using radio telemetry, predation, population estimation, gene flow through scatology and ethnology. Research studies are being undertaken to improve the tiger population, for example, the reintroduction of tiger in Sariska. Since the tiger population is dwindling drastically in its entire distribution range, and Sariska, which is the westernmost distribution of tigers, has seen its complete extinction once over time, it has grown even more necessary to monitor and study the relevant holistic, ecological and socio-economical aspects that will address important issues like population dynamics, demography, territory size, dispersal, food habitats and response to anthropogenic disturbances of the introduced tigers. Likewise, for Melghat Tiger Project Reserve, monitoring tiger and its prey population for assessing the impacts of management interventions of protected areas as an effective tool for biodiversity conservation and was undertaken by Kazi in 2012. Talking about the global conservation efforts, the Global Tiger Recovery Program will support scaling up of practices already proven effective in one or more tiger range countries that need wider policy support, usually resources and new transnational actions that enhance the effectiveness of individual country actions. The program is built on robust national tiger recovery priorities that are grouped into themes. First, like strengthening policies that protect tigers, protecting tiger conservation landscapes, scientific management and monitoring, engaging communities, cooperative management of international tigers landscapes, eliminating transnational illegal wildlife trade, persuading people to stop consuming tiger, enhancing professional capacity of policymakers and practitioners, and developing sustainable long-term financing mechanisms for tiger and biodiversity conservation. To summarize, we can say that not only in India but global conservation efforts are also being done to protect tiger. Cross-sector and cross-disciplinary approaches are done to prevent this animal from dying. Inclusion of study of ethnic tribes is important to prevent the killing. Rehabilitation and eco-development of bridges of these villages from buffer zones is important and is done on priority. So let's join hands and as citizens of India and help in protecting tiger. Thank you.